Shalom and greetings, brothers and sisters. It's Brother Nicholas James Vanderlane, Victory for the People of Israel from By the Narrow Path, which are the Ten Commandments. Today's the 24th day of the 11th month on Elohim's Enoch solar calendar. This video is being presented from the country of Cyprus, and this video is titled Elijah and the Son of Righteousness Rapture. So, because this is a rapture video, I just wanted to make share some disclaimers before I begin. Identifying the day of the rapture event has been a process of elimination in sequential order, never looking too far ahead, always trying to look up to the next possibility, since seeing the great wonder of Revelation 12, verses 1 through 2, on September 24th, 2017. It was called a great wonder because it left us all wondering what the sign meant after the rapture did not occur. I've since identified the Revelation 12 great wonder or sign to be signaling Elijah's arrival. I think that the rapture event is going to be a little bit different than mainstream and end-time eschatology has taught. Is this rapture escape event the transplant to the safe place, to the mountains of Israel and Mount Zion for some, the beginning of the second Exodus? We are called to patiently watch, which consists of seeking Elohim and searching his scriptures and being taught and led by the Spirit of truth. I think Master Yeshua the Messiah instructed us to watch because things won't go as the mainstream teachers have taught. I've never claimed any dates for certain, as I don't have a full understanding. These are watches. My understanding is in progress, and I'm just trying to hone in on that day as I do my watches in sequential order. In this video, I will be building up to a spring equinox or the first day of the first month rapture event. The other possibility that I'm looking at also is going to be the Passover, which happens on the 14th day of the first month. Both have celestial signs this year. The Son of Righteousness Rapture could be exclusive to the man-child, the Zakar, which is the remembered one of Yah, the end-time Elijah type, while the woman, who is the body of Messiah possibly, is raptured to the safe place. The remnant of the woman's seed are going to be all those who missed out on this, who now will keep the command, have the testimony of Yeshua the Messiah, but they will now be keeping the commandments of Elohim because they realized that they missed out, because they weren't doers of the word of Elohim. So what you're looking at is the seal of Hezekiah, the bulla or the seal of King Hezekiah, and this is of a winged sun. And you have the two Ankh, the Egyptian symbols of life, one here and one here. A lot of people will say, what is a pagan symbols doing on this righteous king of Judah's seal? Well, some things that you think are pagan aren't pagan. It's what the pagans apply to it. So this is an artist's rendition of the seal. And here we see the sun, and we know that with him, the sun went back 10 steps on Ahaz's sundial. But we see the winged sun, and Malachi 4:2 says, "But to you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings, and you will break out leaping like calves released from the stall." And we know that King Hezekiah's sign had to do with the sun. The sun was a part of the sign of Hezekiah. We know that according to the Enoch calendar, the true calendar, Jubilees 2:9, the sun is to be a great sign on the earth. When is that sign a sign on the earth? It's on the spring equinox, and it's what's used to calibrate the calendar. What's interesting here, here's one person's rendition of it, and here's another person's rendition of it. You can't really see it that well. You might be able to see a little ball here, a little ball here, but that's definitely has been corroded out. But this person has 6 nodes. Some people might think that they're wandering stars, what we call planets, while also this person didn't have the balls here, but only had the balls at the ends here. But I would suspect it could either be 6 nodes for 6 wandering stars, or they could represent the 6 portals that the sun goes into. The sun goes into 6 portals according to the book of Enoch, chapter 72. So maybe the shorter portals are for the winter, which is portals 1, 2, and 3, and the longer portals 4, 5, and 6 are for the summertime. Okay, so that's pretty interesting, but that's the 6 portals according to Enoch 72, possibly. Here is the Strong's, the Hebrew of this verse of Malachi 4:2, what I just read, and I wanted to bring your attention. It says the son of righteousness. That word is Shemesh Zadok. Shemesh Zadok is son of righteousness. Like Melech Zadok is king of righteousness, and that's our Master Yeshua HaMashiach. He is king and high priest according to the order of Melech Zadok. Hallelujah. Remember, the end-time Elijah type, I have believed, is going to be the prince of Ezekiel chapter 40 through 48, and that particular person in the millennial reign will be prince and chief musician, according to the order of Melchizedek. He will be serving under King Yeshua. So the Son of Righteousness, here's some verses that I pulled out regarding the Son of Righteousness, and a couple of them that are kind of connected there that I thought that I should bring up. Malachi 4 verse 2, which we just read, and I'll read it again. But to you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will arise with healing in his wings, and you will break out leaping like calves released from the stall. The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, found in the Greek Septuagint and also in the original King James 1611, chapter 5, verse 6. And I'll be reading the rest of this in context. But this one is very bad. This is for the people who missed out on this event. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness has not shined unto us, and the Son of Righteousness rose not upon us. So there's probably going to be a group of people that the Son of Righteousness is going to rise upon. So this would mean that the rapture is not exclusive to this Elijah type, but there could be a simultaneous thing going on. But there's definitely going to be a group of people that the Son of Righteousness is not going to rise upon. As I will read later at the end of this video, the Book of Wisdom, chapter 4 and chapter 5. In 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19, we have a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well, that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. Now, a lot of people think the day star is the planet Venus, what we have called the planet Venus. Possibly, some people have believed that the day star is the sun, because it brings the day. So it's not translated sun, but some people have made that possibility there. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26 to 29. And he that overcometh, and that word for overcometh is Strong's G3528, which is Nikau, and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. And I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. This person is the faithful servant, the wise steward. And as I've explained in my video, Revelation 12 sign equals Elijah's arrival. The overcomer that's mentioned here is the end-time servant of Master Yeshua, the end-time Elijah type. And then again, Revelation chapter 22:16, I, Yeshua, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. Again, this morning star here in Revelation and the day star very well could be the sun, as other people have speculated. Isaiah chapter 26:20 says, Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, Yahweh cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. Psalm chapter 19. Verse 4 through 5. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. I proved that the chamber, I believe, is the spring equinox. So that would be the time that the bridegroom would come out of his chamber, possibly. Please watch my previous videos if you have not seen them. There will be links in the description or in the comment section. Joel chapter 2, verse 15 through 16. Blow the trumpet in Zion. Sanctify a fast. Call a solemn assembly. Gather the people. Sanctify the congregation. Assemble the elders. Gather the children and those that suck the breasts. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber and the bride out of her closet. Now, I had thought that the only time this happens, sanctifying a fast, blowing the trumpet, sanctifying a fast, calling a solemn assembly, those are the fall feasts. This is Joel, and this is what starts the day of Yahweh right here. But I'm looking at this spring. This is just what I'm doing in this particular order. In Jeremiah chapter 4, 5, or 6, it starts off with budding of the almond trees. This happens in the late winter, right before spring. Isaiah 28:21 says, For Yahweh shall rise up as in Mount Perazim, which is Sodom and Gomorrah. He shall be wroth as in the valley of Gibeon, which is Joshua's long day, that he may do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, his strange act. Now, I have speculated that Joshua's long day occurred on the summer solstice. And also, Sodom and Gomorrah also occurred on or right around the summer solstice. I think I could prove both of those from the scriptures. And I thought that the Son of Righteousness Rapture, about 1.5 years ago, I did a video where I did this same video thinking that it could have been on the summer solstice. But now, looking at when the sun goes into his tabernacle, that is definitely the equinox, and to come forth and run his race. So, I am looking at this spring, and I'm doing everything in consecutive order. After that, we're going to be looking at the Passover, obviously. And then maybe we'll be taking a look at other signs. But this year, we have a solar eclipse on the summer solstice. And then we also have a solar eclipse on the winter solstice, which is also interesting signs. Watch my video on the 2020, the rapture signs of 2020. So here you have this event. Now, this graphic is from Gil Broussard. He believes that all of these events had to do with this planet 7X. I believe it probably had to do with the sun. But he believes all of these events are all linked, like the Exodus in Egypt and Joshua's long day, Job's troubles, even though Job's troubles should probably be here with Enoch, which is pre-flood. And many other things. Jonah's Nineveh, the Hezekiah sundial, which we read about regarding the Son of Righteousness, which is why King Hezekiah will put the sun on it. The 185,000 killed Assyrians. Yeshua's sacrifice. There's a lot of things that he believed. He believes that this event, some sort of solar events were occurring, or this planetary event was occurring. In the Wisdom of Solomon, I'm going to take you through part of chapter 4 and part of chapter 5. I believe that this is speaking about the end-time Elijah type, that this is a prophecy regarding him. So let's go ahead and read into it. For they shall see the end of the wise, and they shall not understand what Elohim in his counsel hath decreed of him, and to what end Yahweh hath set him in safety. They shall see him and despise him, but Elohim shall laugh them to scorn, and they shall hereafter be a vile carcass, and a reproach among the dead for evermore. For he shall rend them, and cast them down headlong, and they shall be speechless. He shall shake them from the foundation, and they shall be utterly laid waste, and be in sorrow. Remember the beginning of sorrows, before she travaileth, which is the word sorrows, she brought forth before her pains came a man-child, which is the Zakar one, remembered one of Yah, was delivered, and their memorial shall perish. And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, they shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. So this person is going to be a laborer at the end. He's Master Yeshua's end-time servant. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. So they won't notice this particular person. This person's hidden. If you read Ezekiel chapter 33 all the way at the end, they won't know that a prophet was among them until after this event. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, "This was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of Elohim, and his lot is among the saints? Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness," remember what I read, "the light of righteousness hath not shined unto us, and the Son of righteousness rose not upon us." They missed this escape, and they missed this rapture event. "We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts, where there lay no way. But as for the way of Yahweh, we have not known it." They don't want the Torah. They don't want Yahweh's commandments. They don't want his statutes. What hath pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that hath hasted by, and as a ship that passeth over the waves of the water, which is gone, when it is gone by, the trace thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the keel in the waves. Or as when a bird hath flown through the air, there is no token of her way to be found, but their light air beaten with the stroke of her wings, and parted with the violent noise and motion of them, is passed through, and therein afterwards no sign where she went is to be found. Or like as when an arrow is shot at a mark, it parteth the air, which immediately cometh together again, so that no man can knoweth where it went through. Even so we, in like manner, as soon as we were born, began to draw to her end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness. For the hope of the ungodly is like the dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away from the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passeth away as the remembrance of a gust that tarrieth but a day. But the righteous live forevermore. The reward also is with Yahweh, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from Yahweh's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature of his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of a helmet. And he shall take holiness for an invincible shield. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds as from a well-drawn bow, so shall they fly to the mark. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the floods shall cruelly drown them. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill-dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. Master Yeshua said, "Who's my mother and my brothers?" And he said, "Those who hear the word of Elohim and do it." So those are my brothers and sisters, those who hear the word of Elohim and does it. What word? The 10 Commandments, plus the new commandment to love the brethren. And the Sabbath is of the 10 Commandments. It is to be observed. This year, Elohim's heavenly Sabbath is on the Gregorian Sunday, so there should be no question for Christians to come back to the Sabbath and observe it, remember it, and keep it holy. I hope that you guys take these things seriously, and I'm signing off, and shalom to all those who do take it seriously, and shalom to you.